Hi, it's around midday Sunday. Quite a nice day as usual. I actually popped out a little earlier just to throw out some rubbish. It's funny, they've changed the situation here where you now have your green rubbish and your non-green rubbish. The trouble is that the green rubbish, the recyclable stuff, is about, I'd say people have got about 3 times as much of it as they do with the normal rubbish. So the container for that particular recyclable stuff is actually overflowing at the expense of the other one. So it's amazing this wasn't predicted, but apparently I was talking to the guy who's the body corporate rep in our block. I think the main rep anyway. He said that it costs more to get a larger particular container that's or one that's more frequently emptied. It's only every 2 weeks this one gets emptied. So the council's obviously gone out of their way to promote recycling, and that's fine if it really is recycled, because I'm always a bit cynical about these things, whether or not these items are recycled or it's a PR exercise, because there have been times when they've asked for people to do that with the plastic bottles and what have you, but they've just been thrown out into the normal tip. So it is just a PR exercise. Hopefully that's not the case right now. I'm all for genuine recycling, but the world does run on high octane BS, unfortunately. So that was interesting, and also what was also very interesting is that he's got his house up for sale, his unit in this block of flats, and he's only been here for about a year or so, but he's got a noisy neighbour above him. And even though he's the body corporate rep here, or the head rep, whatever, chairman, I'm not sure exactly what his title is, but he can't do anything about this guy. He showed me his car, which was parked out in the car park. It looks like it came from a tip itself. All the Jucos basically on the outside is tarnished, and it looks like a real bomb of a car, and it sort of says everything about this guy. Apparently he started playing loud music at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, so this guy was not impressed, and consequently he's looking to move to the Cairns beaches like I am. I actually saw a place today which would actually be okay. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, which I don't need, but it's not that big a house. And it's a little over 400,000 they're asking for it. It's about half a kilometre from the actual beach itself, but it is at least walking distance. And I would seriously consider having a look at it. One worrying thing is they don't have any photos of the bedrooms, and that is a worry. I mean, they're fairly important rooms. Why wouldn't you at least feature one of them? So I've got to say they probably look pretty ordinary. So I think it's mainly house, but not much of a block of land. In a way that would suit me because it's fairly low maintenance. So yeah, I'm interested in something like that. But I've got a few things to do with my health situation. I haven't felt particularly motivated to go out and look at places. Although I'm going to be popping down there tonight around 6 o'clock. I'm getting picked up by one of my subscribers to this channel, and him and his wife. I assume they're married. I can't remember actually, but anyway, they're both turning up and going to give me. We're going to head off to Trinity Beach, down to I think we're going to the pub and just have a few drinks and probably dinner or whatever. Although I don't feel much like eating, to be quite frank. Anyway, so that's really nice, but I was a bit concerned about the way this whole channel's going. I seem to be losing viewers hand over fist, and it looks like the actual the channel's dying, to be quite frank. I think it was only about 50 people, 50 views of the last clip, and that's why I hadn't actually updated for a few days. It's taken the wind out of my sails, to be quite frank. I don't think I can blame it on YouTube censorship, although you just never know, because Sticks and Hammer, who's got a very popular channel, he says he's going from strength to strength on YouTube, so he's not getting throttled at all. However, then there's this guy called Sanity for Stefan from Sanity for Sweden, which is a smaller channel, but he's got a few thousand likes each time he puts a video in, so he does pretty well. He's getting pretty fed up with YouTube censorship. He says that if you mention a particular virus which we all are quite familiar with, if you actually state the full name, you will be censored. Now, I'm not sure how they would censor you, whether it's demonetization or whether they'll just cut out, they'll throttle the channel and they won't allow you put any recommendations out for your channel at all. I'm not sure what he's referring to exactly, but you've got two different YouTubers there with two different perceptions of what's happening with YouTube. I mean, YouTube aren't our friends. They keep changing the parameters all the time, and they unabashedly support the mainstream media ahead of independent creators, and that's not good for us. So it does look as though Bitchute is the future, but I'm just wondering whether there's much future at all for my channel. Maybe it is on Bitchute rather than YouTube, because the subscribers have been going up on a steady basis on that particular channel from a low base, but at least they're growing, whereas I'm just stagnating at the moment on YouTube, so that's not good. So, just my little, I'll do a fairly concise, hopefully, perception of my what's happening in America. In a nutshell, I think that the Democrats are becoming the undemocrats because of the way Joe Biden kept hiding from the media during the election campaign for president is very undemocratic. He will not tell you anything about his policies. Just vague cliches. That's all you're going to get from it. So there's really no scrutiny, and that basically undermines democracy. I just don't trust the guy at all. I think he has got connections with China. I think his son is corrupt, and he's been involved in a corruptive situation with the Ukraine. Of course, that will probably automatically get me throttled on YouTube because they always support the globalists. So the actual election was a bit of a farce, and of course one of the debates was cancelled because they wanted to make it a virtual debate rather than a live debate, and Trump would not have none of that, and I think he was right. And then you had the situation where you had the huge Trump rallies after the corona thing finally allowed them to get out and about, and then you had Biden with like a half a dozen to a dozen people at his rallies. I mean, and yet on election night, after it looked like Trump was winning in the battleground states, the swing states, all of a sudden they ceased counting, all about half dozen of them together, and then miraculously all these votes came in from Biden when scrutineers and officials weren't around, and it looked as though the fix was in. And I still believe that to this day, and I totally applaud Trump for going down fighting. Even if he does go down, at least he's having a good go of it, and he's giving it all he can when it comes to the legal fight. And you never know, he might still pull off the election. It's not over yet, but I just love the way the mainstream media en masse declared him as the president-elect, even though there is no such title. It's just total BS, and it's just trying to legitimise Biden. It's just amazing how they work in lockstep, all the mainstream media, now including Fox News. It's funny how Fox News seems to be winding back and trying to not alienate all the conservative voters, but I'm sorry, you've actually showed your hand now, and there are alternatives. I go to Newsmax, and there are others as well that do provide actual commentary, just the same as Fox did, but without the chance of them doing a swing to the left, as Fox has decided to do. We should have known the writing was on the wall once they employed Donna Brazil, who had been caught feeding questions to Hillary Clinton before a debate. So, I mean, that's one of their fair and balanced commentators. But now, people like Neil Cavuto have basically come out and shown themselves to be not in the conservative camp at all. They're actually, well, who knows? It could be just that you can buy them off. It could be people. There's people at Fox who will just do anything as long as the bosses say it's what they want, which is rather sad. But that does happen in business. and there's a number of people. Who was Wallace was the one who did the who was the first arbitrator in the first particular debate, the presidential debate. We know how biased he is, so he was actually working with Biden against Trump, so it was 2 against 1. It's just pathetic. So Fox cannot be trusted. They've basically blown it, and I don't think they'll ever be #1 again. They won't be number. Certainly, I think that say Newsmax will take over their pedestal, and they're already getting a lot of subscribers to their cable station, and a lot of people are watching there online. So, all power to them. There needs to be an alternative. In Australia, we don't really have any now because Sky News is a Murdoch-owned organisation, and I don't trust Sky News now. Now that I know that the ownership links. It's pretty sad when the media has become just advocacy for left-wing policies and globalist policies. They are not the press. They are basically Pravda, and so they're a propaganda machine, and they cannot be taken seriously as journalism anymore. We need to differentiate. I mean, the work they do on destroying, say, Trump is amazing. Apparently the media in Australia has been pushing the line that Trump just basically spends all his time golfing at the expense of doing work, which is total bullshit, to be quite frank. And of course, Barack Obama never went out on a golf course. Yeah, right. I mean, this is the sort of biased reporting we're getting now. It is just an assassin. It's a hatchet job on Trump. They're even attacking his wife and family. They know no bounds, and they're not journalists. They're basically propagandists, activists for left-wing causes. And Australians need to wake up to themselves that the media is not giving them the full story. That's my opinion, so that's it. Look, that's about all I want to say today. I'm still a bit deflated about the overall situation with the election, the dirty tricks and what have you. It makes me despair about human nature, to be quite frank. It has knocked me about a bit. And if you, please give me thumbs up, thumbs down, and make comments. And subscribe to me, although I've always given up on people subscribing on YouTube. And there's probably no one really watching this video because it won't be in the recommended list. But you got to keep trying. I mean, Trump is still pitching, so why don't I follow his lead? So have a good day. It's a nice day up here, and I'm looking forward to getting out and getting near the beach, which will be quite rather nice because I would like to be living up in a place like Trinity Beach or Yorkeys Knob or Clifton Beach. There's some really nice places up that way, and hopefully it's a bit quieter and more serene than Parramatta Park, which is inner urban. Anyway, that's my thoughts for the day. I'll catch you sometime in the future.